So I've drawn my whole life, painted my whole life, always been kind of into oil painting and more kind of realistic.
Yeah.
Styles. My family is very artisanal artists, so I kind of built up a portfolio over the years before I decided to kind of try for an apprenticeship.
So you were always kind of surrounded by it.
Yeah, definitely. I never really thought that art would be like, I don't know, I never thought I'd be good enough really
To make a living of art.
Yeah. But kind of being in a city which is so creative and being surrounded by like so many creative people, Melbourne definitely kind of pushed me to pursue it really. And you're inspired constantly being here, and the number of artists, like amazing tattoo artists here, is just so inspiring to be around and to be able to learn from them. Probably a while ago, towards the end of school, but it was kind of getting like the self-confidence to actually bring myself to be able to enter the industry. There are so many incredibly talented people, and to be able to kind of like break into that barrier it's very, very difficult, and you've really got to put yourself out there and get to know people, get tattooed, and just kind of surround yourself. And I've thankfully met some incredible artists who kind of helped me along the way, which is awesome. A fine line, I'd say, kind of, it's very hard to define like fine line as a style, because some people think that it's kind of, it can vary a lot, but I like recreating something kind of realistically and being able to get that detail in there. Using like the finer needle groupings really is just, I find it really fun. It varies, usually good old fashioned pencil.
Yeah, okay.
But also a bit of biro. Because you can really kind of recreate that kind of the same texture as a fine line kind of stipple. I think pencil is kind of the thing that I'm used to. Yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah. I love all the tattoos I do. Like each of them is
that's great.
Each of them is kind of more like, I love them in a different way. But I'm always pretty honoured to do larger scale pieces on people, and I guess when I was starting out in my apprenticeship, I was lucky enough to be given kind of like a full-on piece which I did some falcons on. That was like one of the first bigger pieces I'd done, and the fact that I had that kind of early on and that opportunity to do that has probably stuck with me. So that's probably one of the more memorable pieces, so thank you. I guess it was a little bit daunting at the time, but luckily, like, I think the excitement overtakes that for me. Just really enthusiastic about that kind of thing, which is good, because then I feel like I wouldn't do as well if I was nervous. And if somebody's given me that trust, then they obviously have like some belief in me that I'm going to do a good job of it. So. Oh my gosh, it really depends like what I'm doing, because I feel like there's a bit of variation in some of the pieces I do. Like I love to recreate classical paintings sometimes. I've done a few pieces like that.
Similar to the back piece you did quite recently.
So the Bordeaux piece.
That was awesome.
Yeah, just the really soft shading and kind of the effect that those pieces have, I really try and translate into tattoo. So I'm inspired a lot.
It's a tricky one.
It is.
Because it's a lot of like oil painting, like
exactly
soft inspired pieces.
So that's kind of what I try and kind of emulate in a tattoo, which is quite a nice challenge. I think. So definitely like classical paints like Bordeaux. But artist-wise, oh my gosh, there are so many worldwide tattoo artists that I am inspired by, but mainly kind of different styles to what I tend to do, and just how they execute concepts. Like Abby is so inspiring in the way that she would Abby Tattoo would like recreate a certain piece or like the needle group I should use, and then Paul still in. Yeah, their work is just incredible. So I'm surrounded by amazing artists, which inspire me like daily, which is awesome. I think there's about 10 of us.
Oh, okay.
I think.
That explains like crowded
Yeah.
sometimes. When you're just,
Some days.
walking through a little maze.
Yeah. So I actually did my apprenticeship in a realism studio, which is like your large scale kind of super, a lot of contrast, a lot of different, using a lot of mags, which is quite heavy, like heavy black.
Yeah.
But also has a super realistic, obviously realism kind of style. So I learned a lot of the kind of fine details in that sense.
Yeah.
But I just found that working with smaller needle groupings and using a stipple or fine line, most of them to how I've drawn.
Oh yeah, okay.
So it kind of just naturally came to me a bit more easily because it's kind of what I could, what I was used to.
Yeah.
But I could kind of relate to it a little bit more. I love a chat. I love having chat, like a super social person, and also it makes like the experience so much nicer for both of us, and like kind of getting to know my clients and having that kind of level of comfortability and have a chat is really nice. Obviously, if it's an area which, if you're talking, you can't really move so much, so I do have to say that sometimes, unfortunately. Yeah, if I was doing like the arm, touching the arm or leg or somewhere where like it's pretty chill, love a chat. Because like I'm a pretty sociable person, I think. I don't know, sometimes I like to have my downtime, and sometimes my client just wants to kind of like get it over and done with. I think like if you're not sure about whether to chat or not, like some artists prefer not to talk because they find that it slows them down a little bit, and if the client doesn't know what to do, just ask and just say like, do you feel like chatting or not? And usually they'll answer you pretty well with that. So. My first tattoo was when I was fresh 18 back in Oxford in the UK, in a small like side street tattoo shop. Pretty intimidating experience, like old school, but
was it just a walk-in shop? Did you know anything about it, or did you just say?
Had no idea.
I'm 18, I'm allowed to, so I will go.
Yeah, I just went to the first place. Places my friends had been because I'm pretty young, and had no idea what I was doing, but loved it. Loved getting a tattoo. It was a good experience. What you'd expect from like maybe 8 years ago. So obviously studios have become a lot more welcoming since then. It's so good that that's just being we've moved on a lot from that now. And like our studio is such a welcoming space, and that is so necessary for it. Like you need an environment which you feel safe in and you feel comfortable, and because at the end of the day you're doing something which is not life-changing, but it's a very good experience. I want to have nice people around. So like any day, like if you've got to expect that any day really, be like the big experience for that client. Oh my god. It varies so much. Like it really varies with what I want to do and kind of how I'm feeling, like even like on a day or like in a period of time.
More mood.
Yeah. At the moment, I wouldn't say anything in particular. I'm pretty like I have the most amazing clients who have the most awesome ideas. So I'm so overwhelmed with that. But if maybe I was to do a like whole arm or like full torso, kind of maybe something larger scale, maybe something kind of like working around a few pieces, but like being given a larger area body would be awesome to work with, and having that trust. So like it depends. "5 years, I definitely want to be traveling as soon as possible. Obviously, it's pretty tough. my gosh, like as soon as we're able to go anywhere, I want to be traveling around whenever I can, really working in other countries. Yeah, I do guest spots if people will have me. Yeah, so traveling, meeting other artists, like artists that I've kind of like got to know through Instagram, through social media, and being able to kind of like watch them, learn from them, be awesome. And then that's my main priority, and then I don't know, maybe see where things go from that. The talent that I see
that's going around,
is inspiring. Like, it's like it's amazing. Like the fact that you can access it so easily gives people that variety of like styles and artists, and being able to do their research just makes the whole industry grow so much. But I do want to diversify away from just Instagram, because I think it's so suffocating to the industry. So maybe like if there's some other way of that kind of developing, then I'm all for it. But Instagram's been great. Think about about 8,000. Yeah, but it's been a very crazy 2 years really to get to that point. I'm so grateful for anyone who follows my work. I pinch myself every day that people actually follow me and still like my stuff. So yeah, it's an honor. Well, to be honest, it's really hard to gauge. I've had a lot of clients who have had their friends recommend me to them. So I've tattooed a few like friendship groups, which is really cool. So a bit of word of mouth as well.
You delivered the passive voice. Except for a couple of motorbikes. So good job.
Thank you.
Oh, thank you.
I was like, at some point I was like, fuck, I don't know what to say now.
That was it. I hope you enjoyed this interview with the beautiful Rosie. Thank you so much again for letting me do this. She was the first person I finally did this interview series with, which I've wanted to do for ages, and I think it turned out really good. I hope you enjoyed it as well. If you did, please just give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button, because there will be much more content coming. Hopefully we will have some more artists who are getting on board on doing this series with us as well. I'm really looking forward to that in the future. If you would like to see some more of Rosie's art, I've linked everything in the info box below, so her Instagram. If you would like to get tattooed by her, all the details are in her profile. Also, every other artist we talked about in this video is linked as well. And if you would like to see how the beautiful tattoo she did on me turned out, feel free just to check out my Instagram, which is the Tug and the Moth. And please leave us some comments, let us know what you liked, maybe even what you didn't like, what you think we can do better. A bit of constructive criticism is always appreciated. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye!